Deus Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun god, was the sun god of the Roman Empire. The cult was created by the Roman Emperor Aurelian and offered prayers and sacrifices to the spirit of the sun. The spirit of the sun has a name. It is called the Solar Logos, and it is this spirit which the Roman Sol Invictus cult prayed to. The Romans held a festival on December the 25th called Dies Natalis Solis Invicti, the birthday of the unconquered sun. This festival has been transformed over time and is now called Christmas. The word logos is Greek for knowledge or gnosis. The solar logos powers and infuses life into our solar system. It is the gravitational and energetic center of our solar system. The spirit inside the sun was incorporated into the ancient Egyptian cult of Amen-Ra. At the end of Christian prayers, the word Amen is a secret reference to the sun god of ancient Egypt, and a secret reference to the solar logos, the spirit of the sun.
Hawati en tawi, tem jefa kau, tapen em awef, muef, taef, sem ef, menemenet ef nevet.
Just like our own sun, every star in the universe contains a spirit, and the most prominent constellations have been the subject of worship by Babylonians, Egyptians, Greeks, shamans, and druids since the dawn of time. The Hebrew alphabet is a magical language. Each letter was inspired by the shape of a star constellation. The solar logos is forever evolving, growing, and expanding. Physically, we see energy and light radiate outward from the sun in all directions. Its vibrations reach living things here on Earth, stimulating them to grow. Light is therefore full of spiritual energy, which flows across the universe at more than 170,000 miles per second. Visible sunlight is the outward manifestation of the solar logos spirit. However, like all spirits, the solar logos has a personality of many different facets. Many Satanists throughout history have performed rituals to invoke the negative aspect of the solar logos personality. The negative, destructive aspect of the solar logos is known by all black magicians as the Black Sun. In the ancient world, an eclipse was considered to be a time when the negative aspect of the sun's spirit could be visibly seen, and across the world millions of animals, men, women, and children were sacrificed at the time of the eclipse, or the Black Sun. Worship of the destructive spirit of the Black Sun is still going on to this day. For example, The Iron Cross of the Nazis is a symbol of the Black Sun, and so too was the Round Table of King Arthur, a copy of which is inside the Great Hall of Winchester, which used to be the capital of England. The spirit of the sun is one of the highest secrets of world international Freemasonry, and at temples and sites which are controlled by Freemasons, we see many symbols representing the Black Sun. The Roman historian known as Josephus described a device known as the ephod, which was made of crystals and gold, and its sole purpose was to contact spirits. The ephod was a breastplate with a matrix of crystals interconnected with gold wires, and each crystal was held in a socket of gold, exactly like an electronic circuit board of today. Josephus describes this technological device as using cunning technology. The Hebrew Levite priesthood used the ephod to attain answers from spirits which were translated into a cipher language. The colors of the crystals glowed according to ectoplasmic energy infused into the ephod's crystals by spirits. The ephod was fastened at each shoulder with a large stone of onyx. The names of the 12 signs of the zodiac were engraved upon these two stones. These shoulder-mounted onyx buttons were used to show simple yes and no answers from spirits, much the same as the yes and no parts on a Ouija board. When the onyx on the right shoulder was illuminated, it signified that the spirit answered the question in the affirmative, and when the one on the left glowed, it indicated a negative answer to the query. Josephus wrote that the royal political elite of the Hebrew world consulted the spirits via the ephod before making any major decision. The ephod was known in ancient Greece as the breastplate of the oracle. The ephod is a form of occult technology based on crystals which are used in magical rituals worldwide and are highly prized by the royal elite. The 12 jewels of the breastplate were symbolic of the 12 constellations of the zodiac. Each constellation was considered to have its own ruling alien spirit. These 12 celestial spirits are referred to in the Zohar. This book is part of the corpus of ancient texts which we now call the Kabbalah. The number 12 frequently refers to a pantheon of extraterrestrial spirits which govern the 12 major constellations. These spirits are covertly represented in the Holy Bible as the 12 prophets, the 12 patriarchs, the 12 tribes of Judah, or the 12 apostles. Rabbis of the Levite priesthood built temples especially for rituals using the ephod. These temples were often referred to as tabernacles and synagogues, and it was here that the so-called Ark of the Covenant were used. The design of the Ark of the Covenant resembles a modern battery and radio transceiver with antennas. Like a modern electronics engineer, priests attached a piece of copper to one ankle to discharge the static electricity emanating from the Ark of the Covenant. In fact, the entire temple was one large electronic device. Even the temple curtains contained 24 separate strands of metal, which aided the spiritual communication apparatus used in the ancient world. The word teraphim means disgraceful things. The teraphim were statues representing the likeness of a spirit. Inside these statues were helix structures made from magnetized metal, just like a radio antenna. According to the ancient book of Hosea, teraphim were placed on altars in many homes and used to concentrate etheric waves from the spirit world. The teraphim are often referred to in biblical texts as being used in combination with the ephod. Historical accounts from the book of Hosea tell us that when Saul or King David wished to question the Spirit of God or the celestial angels, they commanded the priest, "Bring hither the ephod and teraphim." William Bramley, in his book The Gods of Eden, claims the ephod and teraphim were a type of occult electronic device used to contact spirits of gods from the stars. On the reverse side of the ephod breastplate were two cube-shaped devices known as the Urim and Thummim. These resembled a dice and vibrated in harmony with the etheric energy received via the teraphim and ephod. The Urim and Thummim were made from magnetized stones, and the vibrations they emitted were used to clarify information received from spirits. The words Urim and Thummim mean lights and accurate truth. Joseph Smith was an American Freemason who created the Mormon Church. He claimed to own two Urim and Thummim devices. Joseph Smith's mother claimed her son inscribed and invoked the spirit of Abraxas into a magic circle. Abraxas is a demon spirit which has snakes instead of feet. The magical incantation abracadabra comes from this spirit's name. Abracadabra is the Arabic name for this demon, who is described in ancient magical texts as a king of 365 genies who in turn rule over each day of the year. Joseph Smith claimed to have gold plates inscribed with Egyptian hieroglyphs. He made several magical tablets containing ancient symbols which are traditionally used to summon spirits. Many of the symbols Joseph Smith used are copied directly from the Goetia Book of Demon Worship. Joseph Smith formed a Christian cult which became the Church of Latter-day Saints, a mixture of Freemasonry and spiritualism. In 1844, Joseph Smith attempted to become President of the United States and distributed thousands of leaflets with occult symbols. The Mormon Church is a modern version of the Levite Hebrew priesthood. Traditionally, the tribe of the Levite priesthood jealously guarded the divine instructions from spirits which were divined using the ephod, teraphim, urim, and thummim. Still, to this day, occult technology is the highest secret of the elite. The ancient crystal technology of the ephod is still in use to this day. The royal political elite wear crowns which have around their circumference the exact same crystals in the same order as found in the traditional ephod breastplate. Royal crowns are actually ephods which have been fashioned to make direct contact with the skull. On the tomb of Maximilian, Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, a statue can be seen wearing an ephod which has been incorporated into battle armor. This armor was not designed for battle in the physical world, but as protection against spiritual forces in the spirit world. Many crowns feature the Maltese cross, which is an emblem used worldwide by Satanists, Masonic fraternities, and magicians. The Maltese cross was the first image electronically projected using the cathode ray tube, which was developed in part by Sir William Crookes, who had formerly been a member of the Golden Dawn Secret Society and member of the Society for Psychical Research in London. The Maltese cross is featured in many sigils. Sigils are magical emblems which are etched onto a crystal ball or a black mirror and then stared at by the magician until the face of a spirit appears. In voodoo rituals, very similar sigils are etched into the ground. These are called veves, and these too feature the Maltese cross. Sigils are used to represent the names of spirits, demons, and angels. A crown is really an ephod, which has been made for the head, able to transmit spiritual communications direct into the brain of the king or queen who wears the crown. Crowns are consecrated in special ceremonies called coronations. The British crowns, owned by the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha royal family of Britain, whose family roots are in Bavaria, Germany, are part of an elaborate wardrobe of magical artifacts, which includes ceremonial knives, golden orbs, and even magic wands, which are known as sceptres. When the crown is placed on the head of a British royal, prayers and psalms are sung, which proclaim that the crown gives the wearer divine right to rule. The ceremony is an exact copy of the coronation ritual of King Solomon, who was a pre-Kabbalist magician in ancient Israel, an expert at spirit divination and demon worship.
Hello? Yes, right away. Excuse me, so sorry. Sir?
Yes?
Sir, you have an emergency call on your private line.
Yes, this is Burgess.
Hello, Lamar. I just wanted to congratulate you. You did it. You created a world without murder.
Sir, everyone wants your name on a hat. Can you sign these for us?
And all you had to do is kill someone to do it.
Hey, room, Jed.
Jad, it's Laura. John needs a favor.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about Agatha's mother, Anne Lively. Just a junkie who had a kid once and had to give her up, but surprise, she cleaned herself up. And she wanted her daughter back. She wanted Agatha.
Chad, you getting this? It's a single stream from the female only with no time or incident data. Whatever this is, it isn't the future. It already happened.
And the problem was, without Agatha, there was no pre-crime. She's always been the strongest of the three. You knew without Agatha, you had nothing. Without her, you wouldn't be where you are now, standing there, signing autographs.
Chad, what are you doing?
Chad, what are you doing with that?
You're too big, man.
Chad, let's think before you send that. Whoa, slow down.
So now you had to get rid of Anne Lively. You had to shut her up, which presented a problem. How can you kill her without the precogs seeing it? Simple. Use a system you control against her. So you hired someone to kill her for you, knowing full well the precogs would see that murder. You lured Anne Lively out to the lake with the promise of reuniting her with her daughter. the same way the precogs predicted your John Doe would kill her. You made the real murder look like an echo, knowing the tech would do what he was trained to do, disregard it. Anne Lively became just another missing person. So, what are you gonna do, Lamar? What are you gonna do?
We got a red ball!
Think about the lives that little girl has saved.
Think about the lives that little girl saved. Think about all the lives she will save. That little girl could have saved Sean.
You ever say his name!
You used the memory of my dead son to set me up.
You used the memory of my dead son to set me up. That was the one thing you knew that would drive me to murder.
What are you gonna do now, Lamar?
What are you gonna do now, Lamar?
How are you gonna
Shut me up.
forgive me, John?
Forgive me, John.
Lamar, it's over. The question you have to ask is, what are you gonna do now? No doubt the precogs have already seen this.
No doubt.
You see the dilemma, don't you? If you don't kill me, precogs were wrong and pre-crime is over. If you do kill me, you go away. But it proves the system works. Precogs were right. So, what are you gonna do now? What's it worth? Just one more murder. You rot in hell with a halo, but people will still believe in pre-crime. All you have to do is kill me, like they said you would. Except, you know your own future, which means you can change it if you want to. You still have a choice, Lamar. Like I did.
Yes, I have a choice. And I made it. Forgive me, John.